Self-care is essential. It's the magic carpet ride to success. When we go first and when we take care of ourselves, when we pour into our mind, body, and spirit, when we nurture ourselves, when we nourish ourselves, when we fill ourselves up, then from a place of overflow, we give, and we give without resentment.
Hey babe, I'm Brooke Jean, licensed therapist, coach, mama, and your straight talking guide to ditching the pressure and living a life unperfected. I've coached some of the top C-suite women in America, women leading billion-dollar companies while secretly falling apart. I've been her. I blend psychology, neuroscience, and energetics with lived experience to help high-achieving women actually heal, so that they can access their infinite energy, creativity, and vitality. If you're a perfection-obsessed woman who's checked every damn box, career, family, house, 401k, but still feels low-key dead inside, you're in the right place. Here, we rip off the good girl mask, call out the BS, and build a life that actually feels like yours. We talk healing, we talk revealing, we talk rising, and we do it raw, real, and unfiltered. This is the Unperfected Pod.
Welcome, welcome. We'll give friends a moment to hop on. I am going to be talking about energy sucks today. Energy sucks today. For those of you who are, for the first time, hearing my voice or seeing my face, hello, welcome. My name is Brooke Jean. As I mentioned, my brand is Unperfected. I'm a therapist, I'm a coach, I'm a podcaster, and mostly I am just on a mission to help women let go of perfectionism so that they can access more energy, creativity, and vitality, honey. Of the thousands of women that I have worked with, the three things that we are consistently ready for more of, ready for more, calling it into our lives, is energy, creativity, and vitality. And so often I see women like looking for ways that they can gain more energy, creativity, and vitality. And what I'm realizing, what I've recently been discovering through my body of work, is that it's not about going out there and accessing more energy or something that sparks creativity or something that makes us feel alive. It's about uncovering and shedding the layers that are blocking this limitless well of everything we've ever wanted and more that lives already inside of us. And that thing that's inside of us is also connected to an infinite well of energy. So let's get into it. I was having a session earlier today with a client, and one of the beliefs that many women and mothers have is that self-care is selfish. Like when we start to go on a personal development journey where we start to work on ourselves and we start to heal the parts of us that are wounded and are acting out of integrity with our alignment, when we start to nourish our mind, body, and spirit, when we start to remember who we are and start to take actions from that place, when we start proclaiming what we want in this one wild and precious life, all too often this big fear of what people are going to think, the judgment of others, and the perception that it's going to be selfish comes on the scene. And so here's what I really feel about that. I've already done a whole podcast episode on how, at least for women in business and mothers, self-care is not only not selfish, it is the magic carpet ride to success. I'm going to say that again in case you need to jot that puppy on your forehead. Self-care is essential. It's the magic carpet ride to success. When we go first, and when we take care of ourselves, when we pour into our mind, body, and spirit, when we nurture ourselves, when we nourish ourselves, when we fill ourselves up, then from a place of overflow, we give, and we give without resentment. So here's one of the energy sucks that I'm seeing day in and day out. Hello to the loves that are here on the live. Hi, hi, hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Doing things we don't really want to do out of obligation. Doing things we don't want to do out of obligation is a master energy suck. And here's a little secret that I want to let you guys in on. When we show up with an empty well, okay? If I'm not taking good care of myself, if I'm not properly nourished and nurtured, then when I show up and I bring, the less nourished version of me to my marriage, to my children, to my business, to my clients, to my podcast, to you guys can feel it. When we're doing things out of obligation, when we're doing things with just a smidge of resentment, people can feel that distinction in our energy. So are we really even doing what we set out to do, which was to show up for other people or to make them happy? My girl Lori, hello, hello. When we show up out of obligation, resentment builds, we're exhausted. And the people that we're showing up for, honey, they can feel it. Bad news Betty coming in hot. They can feel it. But when we take good care of ourselves and when we show up from a place of overflow, that is a completely different energetic. So here's energy suck number 2 that loves to play around with energy suck number 1 is stop being someone you're not. And I say this with love, but if you know me and you know my style, I'm blunt like that. Stop being someone you're not, okay? I am not a baker. I am not going to be the neighbor that hosts the potlucks. I am not going to be the class mom that wants to knit with the other moms. I'm not the nicest person you've ever met. I'm kind, but I'm not the nicest person you've ever met. We do these things out of obligation and we try to present in a way that's inauthentic to who we really are. Now, there's good reason why we do this, guys. Because of something called conditioning, the societal pressures of women and mothers and just girls to be good girls, right? Good girls put themselves last. Good girls are agreeable. Good mothers sacrifice. Good mothers spend every minute they can with their children. So there's these pressures that we've said, okay, around what it means to be good. And so we're just trying to keep up. Am I good now? Am I good now? Did I do enough? Did I do enough? And yet it never, give me a heart if you feel me on this. It never feels like it's enough. Even when we are out here trying our best, honey, we are doing all the things for all the people. It still feels like it's not enough. Being somebody you're not does not serve you or anyone around you. This is why my brand, Unperfected, is really about authenticity. Truth, I want you guys to hear me on this. This is why I'm so passionate about authenticity. Truth is the highest frequency. Truth is the highest frequency, even higher than love. And so when women, we are walking around masked up, being someone we're not, being the good girl, the good wife, the good mom, not claiming our desires, not stepping out in our bigness, not being in our bodies in sensual, sexual ways, just being a digestible, tasteful version of us. And we're weakening our frequency when we do that. And it is an energy suckaroony. I truly believe in the bottom of my heart and soul that what the world needs now is every woman to wake up, take their mask off, uncage themselves, and shine so effing bright from a place of grounded power, passion, authenticity, vitality, and heart. We cannot do that watered down, my loves. We cannot do that being someone that we're not. We cannot do that when we're giving away our precious energy in trying to keep up with the presentation of what it means to be good enough. What the fuck is good enough? You get to define that on your own terms in your life, in your family, in your leadership, in your business, in your relationships. So we are wasting so literally every day women are like, Brooke, where did my energy go? I need more energy. I don't have any energy. And I'm like, well, because you're literally letting people suck it dry all day long and you're just giving to people, places, and things that aren't lighting you up. It costs energy to be someone you're not. It costs energy to try to appease people. It costs energy to hold the trauma in your body. It costs energy to be agreeable and not speak your voice when you have something to say. It costs energy to hold your dreams down. It costs energy to unexpress your creativity. And so I am in the business to help women express the fullness and wholeness of who they are in all of them. Their ideas, their creativity, their voice, their desires, their solutions, all of it. So it's almost like these were the words that came out of my mouth with my client earlier. It's like, we've got to be a good steward of our energy. We've got to be a good steward. It's like, where's my energy going? Is it going to the news and problems? Is it going to conflict with my sister? Is it going to the judgment that I'm judging people on? Is it going to, this thing I volunteered for that I don't want to be doing? Is it going to the job that no longer lights me up? Is it going to the relationship that no longer lights me up? Where is your energy going? And we need to be a little bit more intentional with that, my loves. Not everybody should get your energy. And I'm not saying walk around like a cold-hearted snake, like I'm locked off. Absolutely not. I'm saying, like, preserve your energy, be intentional with it, and place your energy on the things that you want to create in your reality. Now, here's the cool part, too. When we stop doing things out of obligation and we start to do things from a place of alignment, it's a full body yes for me. And we show up in that joy and we show up in that yes. That is magnetic AF, AF, AF. You have no idea how many lights are going to turn on in your field, in your world, when you start living from your full body yes. And you start saying, no, thank you, and not now, to the things that don't light you up. You're automatically going to get some of your energy back when you start living more authentically. And what I mean by that is just, who are you underneath your roles and responsibilities? Who are you? What makes you feel alive? What were your dreams and desires when you were little? How do you really feel about things? What is the art that you actually want to create? What do you think is fun to do with your children? Right? What are you a yes for? What are you a no for? Take your mask off. Bring all of you, the beauty, the messy, bring it all. That also brings back the energy. It's like, when I'm not trying so hard to be this kind of therapist, this kind of mother, this kind of wife, then I can have the energy to be more me. That's also magnetic. That's going to gain you energy back. But here's the other thing I want to let you guys know. Even though I want you to be a good steward of your energy, you also have access to an unlimited amount of energy if you just attune and align and lock in, right? We are living in a universe full, this, we call it the electromagnetic field. Everything has energy, guys. This isn't a religious conversation. I don't care if God created energy. I don't care if Buddha created. I don't care what you believe that holds all of this together, but it is undeniable that everything is energy. Okay? Everything omits an energetic frequency. And so we are living in a world that is just nonstop energy. Even Earth, think about Earth. Think about the beautiful, non judgmental, unconditional love from the Earth that holds you in every day and every way. When was the last time that you just went and laid in the grass and felt charged by her? When was the last time that you just put your feet in the grass and connected and breathed deep? Like, we can always access the energy from the earth. We can always access the energy from our heart. We can always access the energy from the stars and the field, but we have to use our intention and attention to lock in. So here's some of the ways that I love to do that. I love to ground and earth. You know, I start my morning, I get on the floor on my meditation pillow in my office, and I've got the light streaming in from the morning. And I just take a couple breaths and shake out any jitters, and I just start to connect my root chakra to the earth. And I start to just receive from her and give, receive and give. And then now I'm feeling grounded, right? And then that starts to come up my chakra system, and I start to breathe and do some different things. And then it's like, ooh, I open up my heart. Now I'm online. And then the more grounded I start to do breath work, the more alive I start to feel. Then I connect with the divine of my own understanding. And before I know it, before I even start my day, I'm held so beautifully by the earth. I'm in alignment with the truth of who I am. And that allows me to access infinite potentiality, creativity, energy from the field. And I literally imagine I'm just in a charging station, just filling up the energy, filling up the energy, filling up. And I almost experience it like starting at my root, like a circular pattern coming up and up. And then I imagine my heart opening up, and I imagine sharing that heart energy with the world. And then the sun is just drinking down on me, this gorgeous white energy, and it's cleansing me of whatever bullshit I woke up with today, whatever my mental health problem is, whatever my issues are. It's washing me away, washing me away. And before I know it, I'm feeling, because of the breath work, because of the meditation, because of the sun, because of the grounding and just connecting to the earth, before I know it, my loves, and this can all happen within 5 effing minutes. So do not tell me you don't have time. Before I know it, I am feeling so alive, so turned on, so turned up, and in a remembrance of who I am. So again, it's like I don't need to go out there and get more energy. I need to peel the layers of, conditioning and societal pressures and masks that I wear and protective parts and sabotaging habits, all the things that are sneakily stealing my energy. I peel them off, and then I just connect. And then I can always drink up energy. I can always refill. I can always recharge. And then I go about my day and I do my things, and then the energy starts to dwindle. And then what do? I take a break. I go outside. I put my feet on the earth. I take in deep breaths. I hear the birds chirp. I might play a song and dance. I might twerk in my kitchen. But I drink up more energy through my body and my vessel. It's not out there. It's inside. I just have to align. And then I go about my day and I go about my day. And then something triggers me, because we're always going to get triggered. We're human beings. I get triggered. I have a nervous system response. I notice it. I move the emotion out of my body. I regulate my nervous system. I get back into alignment and I take action. Okay. Now you might not be in a space where you can always do that. But when you can, you do it. You ride the wave of your emotion, you breathe and regulate your nervous system, and you get back into alignment and you take action. And this is literally what I spend my days doing. I start my day in a really powerful way, charging my battery, filling my energetic tank, getting into alignment with the truth of who I am, connecting to the divine intelligence of the universe and receiving any and all of the gifts and the guidance that are there for me. and then I bring my best and I don't do shit I don't want to do. Now, there always are going to be some things we have to do, like pay our taxes, feed our children, brush their teeth, brush our own teeth, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people-pleasing, perfectionistic crap that we do when we know good and darn well we don't want to do it. We signed up to bake the organic, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, nut-free cookies. Again, if you want to do it, go off, queen. If you don't, we don't have to. How many of you are stressing out about Easter right now? And is the Easter bunny coming? And what meal am I going to make? And are we doing enough? Are we doing enough? Pick one thing that makes you feel alive for this holiday and lead with that for your family. We don't need to do all the stuff, you guys. I'm done making a fucking ham. I don't want any more ham. I'm done. In fact, somebody feed me for Easter, okay? It's the your friend calls you and you know when you answer they're just going to dump on you and you keep answering the call. Or your mom is going to call you every morning to bitch about politics and you take the call? Excuse me? Yeah. I will never take a call of a complainer in the morning. No, because I'm a good steward of my energy. So where are you overcommitting yourself? Because the people pleaser in you, the perfectionistic part of you that wants to be good enough is telling you you should, and it's just stealing your energy, making you a resentful Rachel. That, going back to the beginning of this conversation, people can actually feel. We're not fooling anybody. Okay? Brooke, when she's actually somewhere she wants to be and she's turned on and turned up and she's bringing all of her, is a different version of Brooke who's showed up and she's not super stoked about it, but she felt like she had to. And now maybe she's also a little burnt out. She's not taking good care of herself, but she's going to just get through it. Those are two different energies and you can feel it. And now this is not to say that we have to have perfect, pristine energy for everything, because that's not real. It is to say control what you can control. You're overgiving, and you need to take that energy back and pour it into your self-care, your self-nourishment. Because when we're well taken care of, then guess what we do as women? We take that overflow of love, that overflow of creativity, that overflow of ideas, that overflow of beauty, and we lovingly share it with our partners, our friends, our family, our children, our clients, our community. And it will be received different when we come from that energetic. So start to play with your no. Where are you giving your energy? Is it an intentional place that you're giving it? Is it in alignment with what you really desire in your life? Right? That's a really good filter to put things through, like what are your values and what is your vision for your life? When people are asking you, can you help me with this? Can you take this on? Can you show up for that? Can you meet me here? Can you make this? Is it in alignment with my values and the life I'm creating? If it's not, then let's pause. Before we say an automatic yes, let's pause and take a pulse of our energy. There are some things we're going to have to do that we don't want to do, and let's do them lovingly. But all the extra, and I guarantee if I looked at your calendar, honey, I could easily find you 2 to 3 hours a week that you could claim back, which has a ton of energetic baggage with it. So let's stop saying yes to things that we're going to then resent. Let's also stop trying to be someone we're not because we think that's what society wants us to be. No. Who you really are, your gifts, your origin story, your lived experience, your values, your energy, your beauty, and even your messy. Who you really are is what your children and your husband and the world needs now. You are doing a disservice to yourself and to everyone else by being someone you're not. And so when people say, we're coming full circle here, when people say that self-care is selfish, I'm like, I won't use the word selfish because I just think it's so misused and misunderstood. I actually think it's the other way around. Me not taking care of myself and me not pouring into my vessel first and me not allowing myself to be who I really am is actually costing my family, my relationships, my clients, the world more. So it's actually more selfish to not. And then there's a lot of women that hide behind that. How many of you know a martyr in your lives? Oh, I wish I could, but I had to raise you kids. I wish I could, but I have to. No. We, me and you, my loves, we're taking personal responsibility for our lives. We're taking personal responsibility for our outcomes. We're taking personal responsibility for our success, our happiness, and our fulfillment. It is no one else's job to create that for us. P.S. It's an inside job. And because of that, because I'm willing to take responsibility, then I know that the most precious investment is me. And the better I take care of me, then the better I show up for the things that I care about in my life. So this whole self-care is selfish is out, honey. That is so 1950s. I'm done with it. I don't even want to hear you say it anymore. Write it on a piece of paper and burn it. Bye-bye. That is old. Now we are powerful creators. We can heal. We can become. We can rise. We can create. We can connect. We can collaborate. But we can't do all of that when we're exhausted from being someone we're not and giving our energy in places that aren't aligned. So the invitation, my love, is for you to get curious. So everything I teach begins and ends with awareness. Why? Because without awareness, we can't shift anything. Where are your energy leaks? Where are you saying yes when it's actually a no? And just lean in with non-judgmental, loving curiosity and start to play with that. Drop a not now here or there. No, no, thank you. Not at this time, and see how that feels. P.S. It starts to feel really good really fast, and you might get low key addicted to it because it's so liberating. So my default is no. And then when I say yes, people get tickled pink, and that's the money move. Homework number 2 is look at where you're being inauthentic. And this is not a shameful thing. Like, you're not being authentic. That's not the energy I'm coming from. The energy I'm coming from is we're all walking around a little bit inauthentic because we want to fit into society. That's normal. That's human. I have a ton of compassion for that. But it's costing us. We have to at least become aware that it's costing us. Because authenticity is truth, and truth is the highest frequency. So if you're wanting the love of your life, if you're wanting the business of your dreams, if you're wanting whatever it is you're wanting, you may not be resonating with it and therefore attracting it because you're not being you. You're not being you. So again, use your awareness, you're loving and kind and a little bit playful, because this doesn't have to be so effing serious either. Use your loving awareness to get curious. Where am I not being me? Where am I showing up with some armor or a mask, or just I'm really trying to be quote unquote good enough? And where can you scale that back 1 degree? Everything that I teach you guys and I suggest you work with, we're talking baby steps, honey, because your nervous system is now wrapped around the identity of being enough to everybody. So when I invite you to take a baby step and do something different, ooh, that nervous system is going to go, the hell we are. And your protective parts are going to come online and be like, no, we people please, we perfect, we control, we overgive, we resent. Like, that's how we stay safe in the world. Duh. So just expect that. Take a baby step and then regulate your damn nervous system. Breath work, earthing, stretching, dancing, bilateral music, tapping, humming, singing. There's a million ways to regulate your nervous system. Deep belly breathing is my favorite. Going outside, putting my feet in the earth, looking at the sun, closing my eyes, and taking a couple minutes of belly breaths is going to bring you back into your body, regulate your system, and back into alignment. And then if you know, are already doing some of those things and you're ready for more, start to play with this idea that there's actually always an infinite well of energy and creativity and vitality and love and opportunity already here and now in the collective field that we exist in. We just have to attune to it. We just have to align to the truth of who we are so that we can resonate with the frequencies of that which we desire. I know that's a little bit deeper of a concept. I go really deep with this stuff in my group programs, in my mastermind, in my one-to-one, on my podcast. If you guys don't already have my podcast, The Unperfected Pod, make sure you're downloading that bad boy. I've been preaching and teaching all things mental health, energy, leadership for the high achieving mom bosses for 2 years now over there. So yeah, let's stop the martyrdom. Let's stop the self-care is selfish, and let's rise into self-care is the magic carpet to success. And my energy is precious, and I'm going to be a good steward of my energy, and I'm going to continue to heal and release what is preventing me from embodying the truth of who I am. And the more I become who I am, the closer to my authentic truth I am, the higher I will vibrate and the more I will call in that I desire in my life. Play with this stuff. It doesn't have to be so serious. It gets to be fun. These might be concepts you already know and believe in. This might be something you've never even heard before. Drop in the chat where you're at with it. Private message me a question if you have one. But I am very excited to lead women back to their power and potential, back to their energy, creativity, and vitality by ditching and dissolving perfectionism, people-pleasing, high-functioning codependency, drinking, eating, self-sabotage, all the things that were toxic relationships, all the things that were giving our energy away. We now call it back, we get aligned, and we powerfully create a world that we want to exist in and raise our children in. I think that's enough for today. I'm sending you guys so much love today and always, and I will see you where I see you next. Bye for now.
Hey boo, if you made it this far, I know you're serious about healing, revealing, and rising, living a life unperfected. Just by showing up, you're telling the universe, I matter, I'm ready. So don't be surprised if things start shifting in your favor. If this episode moved you, do me a favor, rate and review the podcast on Apple or Spotify. It helps us reach more high-achieving, high-performing women who are ready to stop pretending and start living. And if something really landed, DM me on Instagram at Brooke Jean Unperfected or share a clip and tag me. I want to see what's moving through you. And hey, don't forget, you can watch this episode on YouTube and join my brand new VidMe membership for exclusive content, coaching, and community for only $35 a month. We're not just talking about rising, we're doing it together.